I don't I don't even know how to start this, okay? Like, I just watched the Last Airbender movie, okay? Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, right? And for a while, right, he's like been one of my favorite filmmakers, okay? He did The Sixth Sense, like one of my favorite movies ever. He did Unbreakable, which is like just as good. He did Signs, which I don't think is too bad. And The Village, I don't think it's horrible as some people say it is. I think it's good. And then there's this. There's this movie, okay? I don't even know where to start, okay? I think it is officially the worst movie I've ever seen. It's, oh my gosh. All right. Our main character, right? The Last Airbender, like the title of the movie, doesn't even get an introduction. Like he just like shows up in the movie and then all of a sudden he's just hanging out and talking. We don't even learn what his name is. We don't even learn what this guy's name is, okay? I mean, come on. And then they pronounce everyone's name wrong, okay? Because I don't even know if I've said this yet, but I just finished watching the show with my sister, okay? And we've been watching the show, okay? And we've been like actually really getting into it. And the most impressive thing about that show is that it's a Nickelodeon show. It's for kids, but it treats its kids like human beings, okay? They don't treat them like they're idiots. They actually develop the characters. They give them layers. They give them backstories. And I know that it's one movie, and you need to put stuff in there, and you need to shorten the time. You don't have time to develop the characters. But I've seen so many movies where they still develop the characters. You can still do that. It's possible. All right? You don't need to shove in a bunch of stuff. All right? They took the entire first season of the show, okay, and they shoved it into less than 2 hours, okay? And that is... The first season, there's a lot of stuff that happens in that first season. There's like romances developing, there's relationships developing, there's characters, all right? And like, they pronounce the characters' names wrong, okay? They pronounce Aang, like the main character, they pronounce his name Aang, Og, because I don't know why they made that change. What was the point of that change? And then they changed Iroh's name to Iroh, and to Sokka's name to, what was it? Sokka. They changed, I don't even know anymore. The acting is really stale. I mean, that's kind of obvious. We all know that. I mean, the acting sucks. But the thing is that most of these are child actors. If you're a child actor, wouldn't you be excited to be like in a movie? Wouldn't you be like have energy to be in a movie? Like you get to skip school so you can go and film a movie. You would be excited, wouldn't you? No, none of these people feel like they're excited. And Sokka, okay, he was like one of the best characters of the show, right? He was hilarious, and like his trademark thing is that he's funny. Like he's quirky and he's always cracking jokes in all of the serious situations. Like this guy is always making jokes. They completely reverse that, and they make him the most boring person ever. Okay, this guy has this one facial expression. It's just like, that's it. Okay, that's his expression. The entire movie, it doesn't change. Where did they hire these people? And where did they come up with this dialogue? When it ended and I read a written, produced, and directed, right? It said produced, right? Yeah. By M. Night Shyamalan, I like actually lost it. The guy that wrote the screenplay for The Sixth Sense wrote this? How? How is that even possible? Like, how is this humanly possible? Who came up with this? I cannot wrap my head around it. Like, this guy is an enigma. Like, we do not know what happened to him, because he got such a big break with this huge horror flick, made a ton of money, and then he followed that up with a movie that didn't make as much money, but is still equally as good, and then he kept making more that weren't terrible, and then I think Lady in the Water and The Happening happened, and I haven't seen those, but I hear they're not very good. But yeah, this is easily the worst from him, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Okay, but like, it's not hard to like make compelling characters. That's not a hard thing to do. You can make them like emotionally interesting, but they don't even do that. Like, I don't even know, man. Like, I just know, like, the best part of the show is that everyone has an arc. Everyone has something interesting about them. And my favorite character from the show, okay, who wasn't introduced until like the second season, gets like, I think, sort of gets a cameo in the show. I don't even know if that was even her, but like, kind of just shows up and leaves. Like, my favorite character just shows up and leaves. Like, I understand if they want to like throw that in for like fan service, but it just feels so pointless. It just feels so pointless, man. Just okay, I hate the direction. I hate the writing. The entire thing is horribly crafted. Don't even get me started on the effects, okay? The visual effects in this are, it's a monstrosity. And it's not like this movie's old. This movie's only 10 years old. It didn't even come out that long ago, all right? 2 years later, the movie, The Avengers, came out, right? And those effects aged so well, all right? And that was only 2 years later. How did this get past people? This was in the 21st century, and they let this slide? Oh my gosh. They pronounced the word avatar wrong. They pronounce it avatar. Do you know the word avatar is an actual word? Do you know that, right? Like, that's a real word. It exists. That's how you pronounce it. Like, I don't even, like, the most interesting thing for me was the popcorn I was eating. Like, the texture of the popcorn. I found that more interesting than the movie. Okay? This is like the most boring thing ever. But at the same time, it was hilarious because I was just laughing so hard. But then, like, halfway through, I just stopped caring. It was tiring. It was like a chore to sit through this thing. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I saw it, though. I'm glad. I officially have a movie I can say is the worst movie I've ever seen. Okay? Like, I don't know. Like, I've seen the movie Troll 2, and I love that movie because it's so bad. It's hilarious. With this, it's just bad. It's bad, and there's no excuse. You don't come up with an excuse for it, okay? All right. Just, okay. I'm saying this now. I know I'm late, all right? I know this movie came out like 10 years ago, and I wouldn't have watched this movie if I didn't understand the show. And if I watched this movie without watching the show, I don't even know where I'd be right now. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to follow. Like, the pacing is all over the place. And the villain, like the main villain that they introduce in like the third season, they keep him a secret. They keep him a mystery. And they show him within the first 20 minutes of the film. I'm not even joking. I'm not even going to call this a film because it's not a film. It's just, I don't even know what this is, okay? I know I've heard bad things about this, okay? I've heard horrible things about it, how it's one of the worst movies ever made, right? I didn't think it would be this bad, okay? Like, there is a fight scene and it was in one shot. And it was like trying to move around, you know, showing like stuff happening. But the camera was moving so awkwardly, it just wasn't like, it wasn't having enough movement. If you're doing something in one shot, you need to have movement to keep it interesting. They don't even do that. It's so easy. Just move the camera. You don't need to, like, I don't know. I feel like the person that was moving the camera, like, physically could not move a limb in their body. Anyway, so, yeah, this movie's really bad. Yeah, it is. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened. It's like the most unnecessary thing ever. The acting is stale. The characters are extremely stale. Like, I don't care about anyone. The relationships between the characters are... They're not even relationships. I don't even know what to call them, okay? They're just like... Alright. Worst movie I've seen. Watch it and form your own opinion if you really want to. But if you haven't seen the show, do not watch it. Because you will be confused and then you'll feel like you just wasted an hour and 45 minutes of your life. At least if you watch the show, at least you get like a different interpretation of what the show is. I don't even know. Like, the movie sucks. I mean, like, it's horrible and that's it. That's it. It's on Netflix now. Yeah.